Justice League Dark issue 29 finds the ice hordes of the Frost King unleashed on Black Adam, Hippolyta and Viking Prince, who do everything in their power to hold back the horde, but soon John is overcome, driven towards an ice crevice, which the horde topples him over into. Luckily the warrior's sword saves him from falling, but upon climbing out of the crevice, the Frost King confronts him. The villain calls him a treacherous demon whose death has now come to him. John battles the king, clashing cold steel with the villain and telling him the glacier below was still hungry for more victims. The Frost King, however, stabs Viking Prince, saying this is his gift to him, as John says that his death was supposed to be a heroic one, so therefore he's taking the king with him. The Viking Prince pulls the villain down into the crevice with him, falling into oblivion and leaving Hippolyta to tell Black Adam that John's death is on his head. Adam knows that they are all warriors and warriors make sacrifices, but Hippolyta tells the man that John and Edward's family wasn't his sacrifice to make. Hippolyta bashes her way through the ice monsters, rushing towards the crevice, but Viking Prince is long gone. Deep below in the crevice, the Frost King and the Viking Prince continue their fight as they fall, but the king begins changing back into his human form, telling John that he needs to save his family. Viking Prince is glad the battle is finally over as they continue to fall into the dark void. In present day at the Oblivion Bar, Hippolyta finishes her story about the battle, telling Flash and Wonder Woman the Viking Prince died because of their decisions. Diana asks why her mother never told her this before, so Hippolyta says that Diana never needed to hear such tales, but Donna did. The Queen says that she has had her share of regrets over the centuries, and what happened to Edward was chief among them. She knows that when the blizzard came to Themyscira, the Frost King must have returned. However, it was too late to reach out to her daughter and her friends, so they had to defend their home until the Flash and Donna arrived to help them push back the horde. Hippolyta wants to make this all right, hence why she is there now, as Flash knows they need all the help they can get since the world is approaching a tipping point, and if the king isn't brought to justice soon, the world won't recover and the League is stretched as thin as it is, having to battle the Frost King's avatars which appear all around the world, but the avatars are just empty shells of the man. Barry knows they can't defeat him if they can't find the real Frost King, which is where the Justice League Dark will come in, since the Speedster wants them to do their thing. Diana asks Kirk and Khalid if they have made any progress, but the two academics haven't, having sought out the parliaments of life, the black, the red, the grey, and the divided, communing with the beings, but they have learnt that they are all nearly dormant due to the cold winter, with the black talking about wiping everything clean and starting again, and the green wanting to help, but it's too weak to do anything. Khalid tells the heroes that the green needs a new avatar and a Swamp Thing, but they don't even know if Alec is alive or not, and the only way they can be for sure is if they return to New Mirror. Wonder Woman knows that they can probably find a new ally there, so her and Zatanna will attempt to make contact on New Mirror. The Flash heads off to notify the rest of the League, wishing his friends good luck as Detective Chimp opens a portal up for the women to New Mirror. Hippolyta knows that she should be the one to do this, but Diana tells her they all carry what burden they can, and this one is hers. Heading to the realm, Wonder Woman finds the Dream Realm made anew, giving her hope that Swamp Thing might still be the key to saving Earth. Suddenly, the other kind rise from the ground, but soon they just stop, disappearing again into the ground as quick as they came. Swamp Thing's voice suddenly is heard by the heroes, apologizing since they are an automatic response to intruders that are part of him now that he is part of New Myrna, wanting the women to think of them as his immune system. Swamp Thing creates a humanoid form as Diana tells him that the Earth is in dire peril from the endless winter and they need his help. Swamp Thing knew he sensed something, but his connection to the green is remote and distant since the elements have entered a dormancy and they can't fight, and if they continue to sleep, life as they know it will die. Swamp Thing knows that he cannot leave New Myrna since the other place would take it back over. However, there is a way he could help, but it's help beyond him. Back in the Oblivion Bar, Hippolyta is given the items that she requested from Kirk, Bobo and Khalid. However, she needs something more, telling Bobo to fetch some candles, salt and mead. Using these items, Hippolyta invokes the Fellowship of the Shield Maidens, splashing the mead on their table and marking out runes in it. The candles suddenly go out as the ghost of Viking Prince is summoned, wondering who has summoned him from Valhalla's halls. He recognizes Hippolyta, pleased to see his old friend, who tells him the Frost King has returned. John knows that is the tragic tale, telling her of his sacrifice and how there was a moment when they were fighting in the crevice that the king turned back to his human form, crying out for his lost family. John knows that the man was able to take back control, but his powers overwhelmed him and everything else. Hippolyta is aware that Edward is not their enemy, it's his powers that are, so John proposes to find his family, since locating them will locate the Frost King as well. Viking Prince says that at the end, the Frost King was merely a man, scared and alone, and if the power had been unleashed again, then he would be joining them in battle against it, but he is a ghost, and he doesn't know how he could aid his friends. Wonder Woman and Zatanna return, having the answer to John's question in the form of a piece of Swamp Thing, which Diana reveals is just an empty vessel right now. She throws it on the floor and the seed begins to sprout, covering Viking Prince's ghostly visage and merging with him to make Viking Prince the new champion of the green. Justice League Dark issue 29 continued to build towards the end of Ron Mars and Andy Lanning's really fun little event. Again, we get some really cool new info on the heroes who originally fought the Frost King and Viking Prince's noble sacrifice. I enjoyed another visit to New Myrna and Swamp Thing making a return to Earth in a really cool new way, making great use of his powers as well as another long dead hero. I really enjoyed Hippolyta's talk about them not battling the man who is the Frost King, but his powers, which both she, the other heroes, and us as readers who've seen all these flashbacks know are the real problem and have been taking over the man. So it would be pretty awesome if in the end they end up saving the man from himself and his powers. With the flashback story all but wrapped up here, I'm looking forward to the final 2 issues really running the story home with our heroes coming together to finally stop the endless winter. I'm going to give this issue an 8.5 out of 10.